many people in America fear their government, and the government is being run by too many powerful agencies like the IRS and others. I think it's time the people take the country back through their representative government.
Hey, Mr. Politician, living on that hill, living in that lap of luxury on we the people's bill. Don't have a clue how the other half lives, and that is a shame. It's time to stop the tyranny. You keep pushing through your bills. Going for revolution, going for it now. It's time to save our Constitution while we still got the guns in our hands.
Hi, welcome to Freedom TV. I'm Renee Kimball, your host, and we're going to have a good show today. We're going to be talking to the people from the shop people. So this is going to be a really interesting idea on how to allow people in the community to be able to use equipment that they normally couldn't afford by themselves. Before that, however, I'm going to climb on my sovereign soapbox because I have something to tell you about this week. And the first thing I'm going to tell you about with the sovereign soapbox is my shoes. And if we can have the next screen up, I'll tell you what they are. They are Vibram 5 Fingers, and you can get them at the Kayak Shed in Hood River. I mean, you got to travel if you're interested in these shoes, let me tell you. And or you can look at them on Vibram 5 Fingers. And if now we can come back to me, and I will show you what they look like. Ta-da! No, that's next. No, come back to me. Me. I'm an ego. Show me. Yay. Okay, now, can we get a shot of my feet? These are my new shoes. Yay? Yeah? Show me my shoes. There we go. Look. Can you see? And little treads on the bottom. And there are little toes. I can wiggle all my toes. And these are called Vibram 5 Fingers. So I thought I'd share this little find with you. They're rather unique little things. Okay, that's my first sovereign soapbox. Now the second one, the second screen, if we can go back to that one, is the poll watching, which is going to be coming up. Now this is an opportunity for you to actually see what happens here in Multnomah County with the polls. And if you've never done this, it's an eye-opener. So please, send me an email or give me a call, and we can schedule you in for a short 2-hour shift. It's not a lot of time, and you can actually see what happens to your ballot after it leaves your hot little hand. And once you find out, you'll never be the same. Okay, we're going to go into our normal segment of Surviving and Thriving, and I think this one is blisters and other owies, splinters and things. So we're going to go to Surviving and Thriving, blisters.
If anybody's ever been out in the wilderness, they've all experienced blisters. The best choice for blisters in first aid is to identify hot spots, which we have one here on a heel. And what that is it's the beginning of a blister, and what we want to do is treat it at this point before it actually blisters. The treatment for a hot spot is very simple. Take some moleskin, cover the location to help reduce the friction. If moleskin is unavailable, gaffer's tape will work the same way. You just simply cover the area to help reduce the friction. If you're in a situation where a blister has occurred, what you want to do is relieve the pressure on the blister. What we're going to do is take our moleskin and we're going to cut a hole out of the middle about the size of the blister, a little bit bigger. Once you've cut the hole out of the moleskin, go ahead and peel it off and lay it over the top of the blister, being sure that it surrounds the blister what this will do is take the pressure off the sore spot, and it'll rub around it instead of over the top of it.
If bitten by a wild animal or poisonous snake, immediately seek medical attention. And if it's possible to capture the animal, do so only if it causes no harm to any other individual, because some animals do carry rabies and/or tetanus. There are 3 types of poisonous snakes in the U.S. They are the cottonmouth, coral, and rattlesnake. Become familiar with the types of snakes in the region that you're going to travel in. This is important to receive the correct anti-venom. Treatment for a stinger bite could be an ointment. Remove the stinger if it's left behind. Do this by scraping it out opposite the direction it was injected. If you're bitten by a wild animal, poisonous snake, scorpion, or poisonous spider, you must seek professional medical help. If you're carrying a venom removal kit, this could be used as your first line of treatment. There are many insects that bite or sting, and we must always watch out for shock. Everyone reacts differently to these tiny creatures, like flies, ants, and bees. Let's discuss signs and symptoms of shock, which include confused behavior, very fast or slow pulse rate. The breathing can be fast or slow. The limbs of the individual could become weak and tremble. The body skin is cool and moist. Pale or bluish skin from the lips to the fingernails, and enlarged pupils. When the person becomes injured, watching for shock for the first hour is imperative. If the injured person is going into shock, it will most likely show up here.
If you're in a situation where somebody's gone into shock, what you want to do is lay them down and get them comfortable, making sure they're on a vapor barrier from the ground. Cover them up and raise their feet so that the blood will begin to flow to the brain.
If the person is conscious, talking with them in a calm and relaxing voice does help. Asking them to lie down, help them elevate their feet so the blood will flow better through their system, and cover them with a blanket. Unconscious or head or neck injury, keep the patient lying flat on their back. You might need to turn them on their side if vomiting or choking occurs. This is our first line of defense against the deadly killer. Talk to them in a calm and soothing voice. It's amazing how effective this can be. Just remember, shock can happen to anyone, even if they're not the injured. All one needs is to see blood or an accident to put them into shock.
Hi, welcome back to Freedom TV, and I'm here with Rebekah Dreske and Richard Ellison, and these are the shop people. This is, a friend of mine told me about your place, and I went, no, nobody's doing this. So tell me a little bit about, how did you guys get this idea that a shop that other people could come to would be a good idea? I mean, this is really kind of outside the box.
Well, the very first concept of it, I guess, started maybe 15 years ago. I had some, small thoughts of if I had a big shop, maybe it was something I could share with other people.
Right.
Put it together and have it a pretty good sized shop. And you know how those passing thoughts go by and you just kind of every once in a while think about it. I got together with Rebekah 5 years ago. And it was more in my mind when we met because she had a jewelry studio she shared with somebody, and that somebody moved on out of state, so she lost her shop.
Oh, right.
And I had an interest in, for myself, building small boats and needing a shop to do some things that I wanted to do. So when we got together, we worked on it a little bit more and tried to come up with a concept that would be fair for everybody,
Right.
and even no way to have any problems within the system, so to
Right.
speak. So we worked on the concept, we worked on money issues, we looked for a building, finally found a building, and it was a big sweat equity kind of thing to get into it. So
Yeah.
it was a lot of work to get the building, but we got the space, rented, got started right away. our best advertising was Craigslist to find people.
Really? That's amazing.
That's really what built the shop was Craigslist.
And then all these people just started coming down, mainly artists, but you had other people who were
Everything you can imagine.
Everything?
Craftsmen.
Everything. We have inventors, craftsmen. We have people that have a small thing that they make as a business. About a third of our people in the shop are in business for themselves.
Really?
Yes, it's
So
a huge micro business generator.
This is like a micro business shop where
Yes.
people can come and they don't have to have the investment of, hundreds of thousands of dollars literally with some of this stuff. Like if you're going to do welding, that's lots of money.
Yeah.
But
and,
you have the equipment available.
and
That's
you
incredible.
have so many things, so many resources. We have the manpower, so if somebody's starting out and, they can hire in-house people if they want to.
Cool.
They can have somebody just help them carry a stack of wood or
Yeah.
whatever. It's there. And also the resources of information. There's a lot of people that know a lot of things there. And we consider it some of the best craftsmen in Portland. We really do.
Excellent.
In our shops.
Well, let's take a look at some of you sent me some pictures of some of the stuff that actually comes out of the shop, which is amazing because it's like 1,000 art shops and furniture shops and everything all combined into one. Sort of like the Macy's of the shop world.
Yeah.
Okay, if we can bring those out, we'll have a look at some of the photographs. Now this is
This is some artwork by Tomasz Mistal. He's a Polish artist who's a very big influence in our shop. He's probably the only very qualified artist in our shop. Does a lot of religious sort of icons.
yeah, I noticed he had several different themes of that monk, using it in several different places.
He gets commissioned by a lot of
Really?
churches for their their sacred pieces.
Excellent. And this is an interesting piece of furniture.
Yeah, this is one of our woodworkers, Lou, who does a lot of odd types of cabinetry for people. He does furniture, and he'll find like wasted materials, and which I'm sure this piece is too, and turn it into some nice piece of furniture.
That's
This is in our gallery.
This is a wooden bowl, I think, isn't it?
Yeah, this is a turned bowl by one of our artists named John. His favorite thing is turned objects, so he's got all kinds of bowls and plates.
Does a lot of turning. And this is just, look like they're just kind of free-form art sculptures.
These are free-formed out of metal.
This
So
is
really?
pieces from the Enchanted Forest
Oh,
grouping that he's doing.
this is our blacksmith that does this sort of artwork. So we do have a blacksmith studio, and all those are hammered steel.
Those are storks.
that's amazing.
Yeah,
And the
storks.
and the enchanted tree.
These are some of the small items that you have. This is in the coffee shop, this is kind of cool. You can have coffee, take a break, go up, have some coffee and a donut, which is kind of cool. And this little case is in there, and I like the axe. The one on the left is like a.
Yeah, these are all functioning
Some people still
knives
cut
and
wood.
axes.
Yeah. Excellent.
Yeah.
This is an interesting sculpture.
This is made from little bits of scrapped junk and pieces of metal.
He just does amazing things out of scrap pieces of metal.
Yeah, it's incredible the vision that people have. And then we have a very functional piece on the left.
We do everything from very functional, sort of contemporary type stuff, all the way to the fantastic wild things. The bags are sewn in our sewing room.
So you have a sewing room there also.
Yes.
Great, cool. Now these are these would be bags that people would sell.
Yeah, these are bags for sale by one of our seamstresses up there, and that's her whole line on that rack. That's all one
Yeah.
person's
So you
line.
don't even have to have your own sewing machine. You just come there.
We have a sewing machine there, and
We have
some
a
people bring their
beautiful
own
cutting
too.
table.
Oh, really? Excellent.
And this is a display of an art show that we did where Tomas is doing a drawing of those two people on the right. And there's some artwork and things you see in the background that he has created and other people too.
That's excellent.
And that was John, the guy that likes to do the turnings. So there's one of his bowls he's working on.
And he's actually using the equipment there. And so other people can come and use this equipment.
Yes, it's a full-fledged, very well-equipped wood shop, metals shop, blacksmith studio. We have machining and welding, and we also have a glass studio, pottery studio, jewelry studio,
Jeez.
and a clean room for sewing and other cleaner things too.
That's incredible. And it's basically, you have everything together. It's sort of like the old guild. You used to go down the street of the guilds and you would have all these little shops, but this is just under one huge big roof.
It's
This
set
is
up like
incredible.
a gym, except for it's high-power tools.
High-powered
You buy a
tools.
membership, and there's all
There you go.
anything you'd want.
Now these are kind of interesting. The one on the left is looks like it's stainless steel.
Yeah, that's again built from scrap parts. It's a very large bug. His name is Doug, that makes this type of artwork. He sells at Saturday Market.
Garden art.
Garden art. Oh, excellent.
He's
And what's
pretty
the one on
well
the right? And you said it was actually the artist is in there. He's
Yeah, the artist, again, Tomas made this. The middle character you see is actually a view of him today, and there's a story behind this. It's sort of like looking at his childhood, so him as a small boy in front and then an adult behind him.
That's
It's got a story to it.
and this is more from the bug guy.
Yep, Doug the Bug.
Doug the Bug.
That's some more of his artwork. He does a lot of ants and
Very whimsical.
different things, yeah.
And this is things that you can use in the garden.
Yes, in the garden.
Garden bugs.
Some of the smaller pieces would be interesting in the house too. So
I don't know. Bugs, house. I don't know. This is kind of interesting.
this is a shot in our shop,
More
right in
recycled
the
now.
welding area. So he just built that big, massive elk, and that's a full-size elk, and the owls there in the foreground too. These will be in our gallery very soon. They're being finished up, and they'll be up in the galleries.
Excellent. And of course the jewelry and hair sticks on the right. Those are great looking hair sticks.
These are Rebecca's line.
Excellent.
Yeah, I've been doing my own new Renaissance line for about 13 years. I brought back the hair sticks because I see girls putting their hair up with pencils. And so
I'm one of them. We all need hair sticks. And oh, these are interesting.
Some more of Rebecca's
Right.
line of
yeah,
jewelry.
I'd cut my designs out in wax. I like the softer medium, and then I have it cast by professional. And right now we have Jim in the jewelry studio, who's the master carver and caster, who can do that kind of work for the artists that
Wow.
need
So
help
you
with
have
that.
like a symbiotic relationship. You've got all these
Yes,
people
it's
with
a
different
huge
skills.
network.
Whereas
Yeah.
before you would have to job it out to another
We
business.
just hire each other. We all love
Good one.
we all love commission jobs.
That's great. And these look like little tea jars.
Yeah, they're just little icon type characters built in the pottery studio by a guy named Matt. There's a whole storyline to these
About-
little characters.
About the protector of women. It's a really sweet story. You'll have to come in and read it.
Yeah. That's excellent. And some very lovely belts.
Yeah, that's my Art Nouveau pieces. The bird and the pillars, and the top one is my self-portrait. It's my favorite thing, sitting on the bed, watching the birds out the window.
That's great. And some more jewelry. Now this looks like a little beaded bag.
Yeah, a little beaded bag by one of our other girls that work there. Does different types of jewelry and things. And then on the left there is a very large painting by another one of our girl
So
artists.
there are some fine artists who deal in oils
Yes.
and things like that there also.
Yep.
Excellent.
Lots of them actually.
Great.
Some more jewelry. All this is displayed in the gallery, by the way. This is another girl who does her own jewelry line.
And this is the signature horse that's right out there in the front
That's
window.
the famous horse.
Amazing. And it looks like it's made out of little bits and pieces of whatever in the shape of a horse. It's really incredible.
Lots of odds and ends, you know, farm equipment and different shop tools and scrap metal and stuff. It's really interesting to stand there and just look at all the multiple pieces. And
I mean, it's very entertaining to just sit there and look at it and then step back and actually realize it's a horse. And this one I think is really cool. These are jewelry pieces, and they're made out of used
recycled skateboards.
Broken
Okay,
skateboards.
there's a use for everything.
And that was there's a really interesting story to this jewelry too. This is a young girl that came into our shop that just had an idea. She saw a lot of waste, which was the recycled skateboards. She trades homemade cookies to get her boards. That's how she started. She came down with this idea, and we showed her how to use the equipment, and she started punching out these earrings and bracelets and things just from the skateboard material
She's
itself.
using the wheels there too.
And now
That's incredible.
she's got 27 stores in 3 countries, and she's
Really?
doing very well for herself.
That's incredible.
She's going to the wholesale markets now.
That's incredible. All from just an idea.
Yeah.
And I think that's our last picture. And we're going to come back to us, and we're going to take a short break. And in this break, we're going to actually see the video that was taken of you guys for OPB. And OPB said we could use it, so it's okay. So we're going to go to the roll-in of the shop people.
Three years ago, when contractor Richard Ellison needed a shop to build a boat, and his fiancée Rebekah Dreske needed a place to make jewelry, they found workspace at Southeast Grand and Oak in Portland. Today, that space has grown into a community of artists and craftspeople who share tools and creativity. It's called Shop People, and videographer Greg Bond recently took a tour.
When I came here and got the tour, I said, wow, sign me up. This is it.
It's a good creative opening and an outlet to be in a place like this.
The people here are really good, and they're real open to working with other people, sharing their knowledge.
There's a lot of different people with a lot of different approaches to their craft.
It's a real cooperative community environment, and it's wonderful.
When I met Rebekah, she needed a shop for jewelry work. I needed a shop for woodwork. I sold all my personal items and put my own tools into the shop.
We're just looking around, everything is too small or too big, and we just realized there must be so many people in the inner city that needed a workshop. So we started looking for big.
We've expanded 4 times since we've been here in 3 years. And now we cover about 25,000 square feet. The coffee shop and gallery is one of our latest spaces.
That really seemed to be the only way we could afford to have somebody there all day in a gallery setting.
My name's Lindsay Vachon, and I'm a barista here, and I also make jewelry, which is these that I'm wearing. And I work up here, and then I work back in the shop whenever I have free time making my jewelry.
It's really helped stop the traffic, so to speak, to come and check us out, which they walk through our gallery and they get to see some of the artwork that people make, and then they ask questions about the shop and we give tours. So this is our jewelry manufacturing studio.
My name's James Garrick. I design jewelry and I hand carve fossil walrus ivory. It's people like Richard and Rebekah who's given me this opportunity to come here and have a space to do my work in, because I couldn't do this without them, without this space. And I've already helped a few different people learn how to expand their own creativity and showing them how to do some carving.
So in this room, this used to be our original gallery. Now, this room turned into another studio space.
My name's Leo Wayman, and I am a figurative painter. I came across this place, and it had every discipline that you could possibly use in your art. If I wasn't working here, it would be a smaller space, and I definitely wouldn't have the tools at my access. You couldn't get that anywhere else, as far as I found.
So the rest of the shop is downstairs. It takes up half of the block underground. It took months and months to clean this place out. I've rebuilt almost every door and window in this building. So this is the main shop.
They pay $150 a month, and they have this whole workshop. They can find a workbench and a space to set up a project and find all the tools they need to do it.
My name's Doug Puckett. I mainly sculpt in found steel. The cool thing about this shop, Richard allows us to use our own tools here and use other tools that belong to the shop. I work a 40-hour-a-week job, but I weld here about 3 or 4 nights a week. And all of my friends here, you know, we're a family.
It goes way beyond just a place to do artwork. The people kind of come together and work on different projects together. They network together.
My name is Tomasz Misztal. I'm a sculptor. This exchange of energies and ideas and friendship, mainly friendship, is wonderful.
It's such a new concept in America. It's a really old world European concept to have a place where the master artist did their crafts for the community, and it's just brought all these incredible people together.
So in this space, which is one of our about 2 years ago acquisitions for a shop, is 4 people that have their own private space to do their thing.
My name is Elliot Gerlach. I work mostly in recycled materials. Here I have a top to a wine barrel I'm working on. And I'm going to use this flute from a pipe organ as a base. That'll be a table. I can network with other people if I need welding or machine work. A lot of information here, a lot of knowledge about finishing, materials, glues, woods. It's endless. And I teach as much as I learn.
So this is our pottery studio.
My name is Ben Turner, and I'm a ceramic artist. It's totally inspiring to see people, any skill level, any sort of drive, get excited about what they're doing. So often people, they don't get to look into how an artist works, and they see maybe the finished product, but being here allows you to be a part of that whole process, from drawing and sketching to all sorts of steps along the way.
So next to our pottery studio, this side is where the glass workers do their projects.
My name is Nathan Sandberg, and I am a glass artist. I believe I was one of the first 3 people here for about 8 months or so. There really wasn't anybody else moving in, and Richard was just getting started. It's gone from 3 people in a really messy basement to what it is today, and tools from every medium, from wood to glass to clay.
In the blacksmith room, we have our forges where we do metal work and heat up steel and hammer it out. So here, in the back end of our shop, there's people doing all kinds of artwork. There's coffee tables made from wine box ends to drift boats and kayaks. Coming into another large studio space, we have a guy who builds his own guitars.
This instrument was crafted entirely here at Shop People. That's the person responsible for all this?
It's considered such a rare thing to have a shop like this, I guess, that we thought we would have a once-a-year party.
Hi, my name's Lindsay, and I make jewelry here at the Shop People, and now I'm gonna play guitar.
When we can all kick back and have this party together, it really reminds you how close we are.
Now your ship may be coming in, you're weak but not giving in to the cries and the wails of the valley below.
My name is Lindsay Jo Holmes, and I make jewelry out of recycled skateboards. Everyone really builds each other up, and it's such a community. I came here not knowing anything about tools, not knowing anything about wood, and they pretty much taught me everything as I went. So they're like my family. Now I have 27 stores that sell my jewelry, 2 international. Yeah, it's so cool.
What I'd like to see is the popularity of the shop get big enough that everybody in Portland knows they can come here to either buy art, have something special made, or if they want their own place to come and cut some wood or weld or whatever they want to do. The biggest benefit that Rebecca and I get from this, making something possible for people that is basically impossible. And it's just a huge uplifting experience to see that happen.
Hi, welcome back, and I'm here with Rebecca and Richard, and we're talking about the Shop People experience. And it's like an experience. My God, you walk in there and it's like, whoa, there's all these people doing all these things. Now, how many people do you actually have involved in it now?
It's getting close to 70.
70 people. That's incredible. And how actually big is the area? I've been downstairs and it just seems to go on forever.
Yeah, there's lots of different floors to it. There's all total about 25,000 square feet.
Really?
And we started 3.5 years ago with 8,000 square feet. And we've expanded 4 times since we've opened. And one of the latest things was that new gallery and coffee shop.
Now, that's great. And it is a gallery where you can show off some of the stuff and people can come in and it's always changing and it's mainly good stuff, not like some of the other coffee shops around town. It's like, what is this? You know?
It's very unique.
We try to rotate the artists to give people their time to put their things in.
Right. Is there anything that you want to see in there that you don't have yet?
You know, there's always changes happening all the time in the shop. It's always morphing into something more, something different. There's lots of things that we'd like to see happen. We're looking for more machinery, more members, obviously, but we'd like to see people come down to our shop and sort of use it as a community shopping area of come in and have something custom made for yourself.
Yeah.
You'll be a lot more satisfied than if you just went to Walmart and bought it.
So a lot of the artists there, they will do like custom things. Like if I come down and say, hey, I want a park bench, can you do me a park bench?
They love getting little jobs.
Sometimes we have people just walk in with a board and, you know, do you have somebody that could cut this for me? All the way to pretty major construction, you know, full cabinetry for their house and different things like that. So. Yeah.
And is it about what percentage is people who do like art, strictly art, and people who do more functional items?
You know, that's funny about the shop because the artists, of course, get the most focus publicly on the media because it's interesting and pretty and all that. But really a lot of the shop is the other stuff, which is industrial applications, sort of the straightforward cabinetry for a house or decks, fencing things, trellises made, boats made, things like that that aren't, you know, so artistic and visible.
They're not sexy. You know, they don't have that glitzy sort of thing of being art. But to me, some of the, especially the guy who does the end tables and the coffee tables with the the wine things, I thought those were fabulous.
Yeah.
Those are incredible.
And there's probably, I would say, you know, like about a 30% that's just purely art to look at sort of thing, and the rest is more functional.
Right, so about
has a
2/3 of it.
reason for it, yeah.
Yeah, that's more functional, utilitarian items. And do you have like mostly men down there, or is it kind of split up? And
It's pretty good. Maybe
There's a lot of girls.
There's a lot of girls, too.
probably, you know, a good, I don't know, 25, 35% girls.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
girls that are building boats and doing woodwork
Yeah.
too.
That's
They
incredible.
do everything the guys
And metal
do.
workers too. We had a woman who comes to town once a year to teach a metalwork class for women.
And that's what's really interesting, because, I mean, there are many women who are going to feel comfortable rocking up to a big macho machine shop and saying, "Hey, would you mind showing me how this stuff works?" That's not going to really happen. But
No, it's
here,
really a friendly environment.
Yeah. So, and now, do you offer classes in particular?
The,
things?
the members offer classes.
The members themselves,
The members
actually.
themselves do.
Right.
So it's not very often, and can be really different sometimes what they offer.
They're available for anybody who needs to learn something.
Right.
Yeah.
So now, like the woman who learned how to do the skateboard things, she just kind of came in with an idea and said, "Hey, I think it'd be really cool to be able to do this." And then somebody just took her under their wing and said, "Okay, I'll show you how to use this big, sawing drill press here and how to do
for
it."
something like that, yeah. But the members are willing to teach classes for jewelry making, or the other members willing to teach people how to weld, and he'll set up a class with however many people want to learn.
Right.
So it's pretty much they work out whatever they want to do.
So it is more along the lines of like a guild used to be. You would, you don't indenture yourself forever in the guild, but you have an opportunity to go in and experience this particular thing. So now, does each person have their own area, or is it kind of open space?
They can. The first stage of getting into the shop is a membership, $150 a month to use all of the shop. You can work in wood or metal, pottery, glass, anywhere you want to go.
So it's a membership thing.
It's a membership
then you pay for a membership, and then you get to use
all the community tools
the
and
community
equipment.
tools. Now there are community tools, and then people have their own tools.
Yeah, people bring their own stuff too.
People have their own hand tools. They're small things.
Right.
And they can, that's the next step up too, is that they can buy at $1 a square foot per month additional their own bench, or their own area to store lumber, or their storage locker, or a place to build a boat, or anything of this sort.
So they can have their own space that they actually do.
If they want to.
They do their own thing, but it's basically membership, and then you kind of get to play with all the other stuff, provided you ask somebody how to do
Know
it.
how to do it.
Just not wander off with a welding torch. Just go, I'm going to weld something.
And there's lots of people, including myself, that can get you started, get
Right.
get the basics down, the safety down, and things, and then you can, everybody plays safety monitor and security guard there.
That's
so,
excellent.
That if we see something being done improperly, well, hey, let's rethink this and do this differently. So
Maybe you should try doing it this other way.
yeah.
And do you have a lot of people coming in with special things that they want to have you do?
Oh, people come in wanting their portraits of their cats done, or a sculpture done for their garden, or sketches, self-portraits done, and
All kinds of different projects happen there that people come to us with different kinds of things, really off-the-wall, strange things that you would never guess. It seems somehow they find us and know that we do all kinds of different things, and we have all kinds of different artists, and so you wouldn't imagine all the things we see.
Really?
Yeah.
And it's like, I've seen is there like an entrance to the shop areas, or do you, I've only gone in through the coffee shop, sort of through the back door, so do you have like a main entrance somewhere else in the building that's kind of like
the
shop
membership
people
door down the drive.
membership door.
Down the drive.
Only the members get to go
That's
through this
right,
door.
and they're very protective of that door.
Yeah, the members' entrances are off the driveway, which is off the Oak Street side, and
Right.
that's secured doors, so only members come in through there or escorted guests. But the gallery and coffee shop is our main front door,
Right.
and from there you can wander down through the shop too. So
Excellent.
With a guided tour.
With a guided tour, of course, yes. Okay, we're going to be back, and the audience is going to have a chance to ask you some questions, because I'm sure there's some people who want to know a little bit more about what's going on down there. But right now we're going to take a short break and go to a video of a group called Divine Performing Arts. They're actually going to be in Portland this coming week. I think they're going to be here on the 19th. This is a one-day only thing, so if you have an opportunity, you might scurry on over to Keller and have a look at them, because they're pretty spectacular. So this is Divine Performing Arts.
Heavenly music, breathtaking dances, enchanting landscapes, and timeless legends.
Was wonderful.
The show was great. Terrific in all ways.
Oh, it's beautiful. It's so beautiful.
I would like to come back and see it again.
China was once called the land of the divine. In ancient China, every member of society, from emperors to scholars to farmers, tried to live in harmony with the heavens. And in turn, heaven bestowed upon China the gifts of its culture, philosophy, painting, music, and dance. Sadly, since the 1950s, much of this divine culture has been lost under communist rule in mainland China. A revival of these lost traditions has begun. Today, nobody captures that grand essence of Chinese culture like Divine Performing Arts, the world's most celebrated assembly of Chinese dancers, singers, musicians, and performers.
For so many years, the most precious part of Chinese culture, I finally see it tonight.
The dancers, the movement, the arms, the ankles, the wrists, everything was just beautiful. So much movement, so much feeling. I could cry. That's how touching it was.
From a 32-city tour in 2007 to a 66-city tour in 2008, Divine Performing Arts has become a global phenomenon, reaching millions of audiences both live and through TV broadcasts. Its world-class performances have graced some of the world's most prestigious venues, including New York City's Radio City Music Hall, London's Royal Festival Hall, and the Kodak Theater in Los Angeles.
Tonight was one of the most magnificent shows I've ever seen. To see a culture with so much heart, so much spirit, so much grace.
It just struck me as, wow, this is beautiful.
Great effort is put into the show to ensure the authenticity and artistic merit of the programs. Hundreds of dancers, musicians, designers, choreographers, researchers, and production specialists work tirelessly to bring the audience a grand production the world has not seen since the time of the great emperors. Witness the beauty, the artistry, and the grandeur of the human spirit in all its perfection. Divine Performing Arts.
Hi, welcome back to Freedom TV, and we're here with Rebecca and Richard and the Shop People Experience. And I wanted to ask you, what are your plans for the future? What do you want? What do you think? Envision this being in the future. Where do you think you're going to go from here?
Well, it's a great community shop, so we always keep that in mind when we grow and expand and things. One thing I've been researching quite a bit about energy and what we could do with energy devices and different things. I just got a super efficient electric motor that I've just gotten to run just yesterday, actually. That shows a lot of promise for helping on the PG situation. We've done some research on hydrogen production, and I also have a large alcohol still plan, which I would like to build by this fall when the crops mature.
Not this kind of alcohol,
no,
but
for
this
fuel.
kind of alcohol. Okay.
For fuel.
Right.
And
cool.
we all know that gas will probably go up again, and we really can run this country on what we have in our own communities.
Right.
So I want to focus more on using the shop to help the community in different energy ideas. You know, I would like to get a workshop together where we can talk about this situation, get the still going, and let people who have material that we can use it, create some fuel, go from there. Maybe we can possibly start a community fuel source and let everybody run it.
Now, one of the things I wanted to ask you is probably a lot of the people there have like waste stuff. Do you have like a recycling system where, you know, one person's waste becomes another person's product they're going to use and what they're doing?
That's a huge thing in our shop.
Yeah.
We use a lot of recycled materials. All the artists are very conscious about green use, and we, just like the skateboards, for example, there's lots and lots of people there that grab hold of waste material and create it into something usable and beautiful. And in the shop, the waste that we have, we recycle the metal that's just completely used up, and that's recycled back into the shop for money to run the shop. The wood is a problem too. We have lots of sawdust, lots of waste wood.
Yeah, you would.
So the sawdust, we try to get people who are looking for sawdust for their gardens or their cattle or anything like that.
Good.
And so some people pick that up. Some of the wood is burnt in our wood stove, and we create heat for the shop.
There you go, your own heating system.
And it'll also be the heat source for that alcohol still as soon as I get that going.
So the waste wood that's coming off, the little end bits that you really can't use for anything, you put them in the furnace and away you go. So that so this is it looks like it'd be fairly efficient as far as keeping the heat, because it's sandwiched between two floors. Most of the shop is sandwiched between two floors, so it probably doesn't get too cold.
Yeah, it stays pretty well. It hovers around 60 degrees summer, winter, most of the time. There's a couple little cold spots that we're working on. So.
Right. So, and now a lot of the people who are there at the shop, did you have a lot of people come at one time, or did they kind of just slowly sort of find a place and go, whoa,
Very
cool.
slowly.
Very slowly.
Coming in.
Very slow.
It's just been word of mouth mainly. It's been really hard to let the community know what it is.
Right.
It's hard to explain it.
And then maybe that might be best, because this way you get people who are really keen and really interested in what you're
Yeah.
doing rather than people who just
Yeah.
come and go. And do you have a lot of attrition? Are there people who come and stay for maybe a month and kind of
There's
walked into
quite
the
a
woodwork?
fluctuation in that well, now it's maybe what, half a dozen every month come and go.
Right.
Well,
Come and go.
they might come and just have a certain project to complete.
Right.
We also do a lot of special things, like we have theater groups that come who want to build sets and
Okay.
different large projects, and they'll take up
Yeah.
half the shop for a month and then disappear.
And then that's it, because they've
Yeah.
done their dash and they're all done.
Yeah.
Well, that's kind of an interesting resource of having a place where you can come and do a big project like that. It makes a big project like that feasible.
Yeah.
Whereas if you had to get all the equipment, and it just wouldn't happen. It just wouldn't happen.
And we really don't, as far as I know, we don't deny any sort of project. The only thing I can think of is a large boat that we just couldn't accommodate.
Well,
But the shop
How
really
would you
tries
get
to
it
make it
out?
happen. Yeah.
That's one of our problems.
It's like, have you ever had anybody build anything that was like, uh-oh?
Oh, we've had a few things over there.
They're like, how can we get this apart to get it out
Yeah.
the door?
No,
This is
not
going to
yet.
be interesting.
But we really make anything and everything happen. I mean, our shop is a yes, we can do this. And
That's
so
incredible.
we make it happen. Everybody has the same opportunity at our shop.
That's incredible.
So,
What's the biggest thing that you've ever had done there?
oh
The
man.
pipe organ that,
Oh, yeah.
Pipe
that
organ?
Michael built for the church up on 18th and Jefferson.
Yeah.
He built a pipe organ.
One of the
he-
biggest pipe organs on the West Coast.
He
Oh
builds
my
the pipe
gosh.
organs for all the churches.
Yeah.
And he does it there in the shop.
He just
That's
he
incredible.
actually just got too big for the shop. He had to get he got his own shop recently and moved out.
So, hey,
The
this
sad
is...
part of our shop is
Yeah.
that some people they start at our shop, they do so well that they move on when they get too big for us. So he went and rented about 1,800 square feet,
My gosh.
got his own showroom, his own shop, and doing real
But
well.
he does other things too. I mean, he can do a custom design wardrobe for you that will look like old world. Just
That's amazing.
yeah. So
So that it's kind of
He
like
needs a
you.
showroom.
It's like you're the incubator, the
Yes.
shop incubator,
Yeah.
where you get all these
we
people
just
who come
love
in
to
and
watch
Working into
people get
That's
set
incredible.
up and get secure, and we watch them grow, and their business expands like crazy after they get settled in, and sometimes they outgrow us then.
So after 3 years, are you going to have an alumni night where you invite all your alums back?
Yeah, we are. Every year we have a
We have an anniversary
party.
around
Really?
October, and it's we invite everybody, all the previous shop people, anybody that's known anything about us, and there's just hundreds of people that come for this big party. And we have a lot of our own people are musicians. A lot of the music instruments, as you saw in the
Yeah.
video, are made there. So we just have a big party. We have food and our own entertainment, and we all reminisce.
Reminisce.
So
and,
it's a lot of fun.
That sounds like a great lot of fun, and it also sounds like it's more along the lines of what people are calling community. I mean, sometimes I get it's hard for me. People say, "Oh, we should build community," and I go, "Well, exactly what are you talking about here? Build community." And this is actually a community that's happening. Oh, it looks like we have a phone call. Do you have a question?
Yes, I have a question regarding a lot of your artists use found objects and things that people don't want anymore. Is there a capability of donating things that might look like they might be of interest to an artist, or you leave that up to the artist themselves to hunt those down?
Actually, the shop accepts just about anything. You can call the phone number for the shop and get in touch, and I or someone else will come and pick it up. And we just accept the materials and bring it in, and then all the artists get together and rip it apart and take what they need.
So don't park your car too close,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
It's like it may disappear. It's like, I know I parked it here somewhere.
Yeah.
No bicycles by the door, right?
No.
But that's interesting that you can accept things from the community
Yeah.
and then turn around and utilize them and turn them into artwork.
We talk about that on our website
They
too.
use it too.
That's amazing. What's the glass artist? Now, do you have like a glass kiln there that he
We
uses?
have a couple of kilns.
Oh, really?
Yes, and we don't do blown glass. That's the only thing that we haven't really gotten into. It's slumped and fused and mosaic and stained glass type stuff. So the little bit easier impact, I guess you'd say.
Right. So, do you need a special setup for the blown glass? Is this like a special
Yeah.
furnace thing that you need?
Blown glass is very expensive. It takes
Really?
a lot of special equipment, and we have the ability to go that direction. We just haven't done it yet.
It takes too much gas.
Yeah, a lot of gas.
Yeah.
Well, I just want to thank you both for being here, and thank you for coming up with an incredible idea.
Thank you
because
for
I'm
having
sure
us.
it's allowed a lot of people in Portland an opportunity that they would have never, ever, ever had to do the things that they want to do. The skateboard lady, as a prime example. I mean, where's she going to get a drill press that's a saw?
Yeah.
It's not going to happen.
Well,
but-
I really appreciate the Portland community. You can create any life you want here, and we really support local artists here and local businesses here.
Well, thank you again for being on the show, and we will see you guys in 2 weeks. We're going to have a tape show next week because it's a holiday, and so the studio won't be open. But in 2 weeks, when you come back, we're going to have a mobile chiropractor, and he's actually going to be demonstrating here for you. So join us in 2 weeks here on the Freedom TV, and until then, it's your voice. Be sure you're using it. Thank you.
Wow.
And now we're supposed to see.
I cry for my country, for the pain that it's been through. She's been made to suffer for the profit of a few. Storm clouds are forming, winds of change now touch our shores. Our hear forefathers are crying as the dream's been crucified. America, I show my love for thee with strength and loyalty. America.